Welcome to Cryptoperdiem. In today's video, we're going to be talking about, the adoption of blockchain technology. There was a time when the only thing most people, generally speaking, knew about blockchain was Bitcoin and the dark net. And over time, more and more people are realizing there's more to blockchain technology than just cryptocurrency. It's a whole new technological wave which is going to disrupt the system. Sound blockchain or cryptocurrency projects that have sound fundamentals and real world use cases. Okay, even for those cryptocurrencies that have, and a lot of value is going to come into this market, a lot more than what people think. But anyway, before I get into it, I just want to say this isn't financial advice. Do your own research, make your own decisions. If you like the video, subscribe, hit the like button, follow me at Twitter at Cryptoperdiem. Let's get into it. So I've got the poly chart up here from Binance. As you can see, we're at 959 satoshis, so it's recovering very well. Or we can just keep going back up to where it was before and start moving sideways. It all depends, but you know what I'm about. Personally, me, who bought in at this level when you had the opportunity to increase your bags. For those of you who sold here and bought here, congratulations to you as well. All part of the game. Right, so let's have a look at this article here. So this is from the Financial Times, which is a major newspaper, especially when it comes to business people. It allows for faster and safer settlement than the current monopolistic clearinghouses. Okay, so one of the things that blockchain is going to allow for is, like I said, making things more efficient, making transactions more efficient and cheaper. Okay, that's why you got Ripple, XRP. You should already know what they're all about. What they're trying to do when it comes to cross-border payments. It's only a matter of time. See, the elites, they already had this planned anyway. They just didn't let. Right, so Credit Suisse, or SWE, or however you say it, and have lately grabbed headlines for all the wrong reasons. But amid their multi-billion-dollar losses, Archegos debacle nestled a snippet of very different news that may hold more profound implications for Credit Suisse. Cut some US equities trades. Nomura owned broker Instinet using blockchain. This technology has been used before to verify because settlement occurred in hours and not in the 2 days needed with America's Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, the industry-owned utility that normally settles stock trades. Think of it, if you will, as a financial version of moving from the snail mail of posts to zip off balances and collect margin to protect against losses. But now Credit Suisse, or Swiss, and Instinet have dealt directly with each other by recording the trade on a shared. Is this revolutionary? Not yet. The transactions were a small pilot and only took place because the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, granted to blockchain specialist Paxos tolerated but not formally approved. And there's going to come a time when they catch up, and it's going to have to start allowing all these innovations to come through. Otherwise, it's going to hold, because the rest of the world, especially the East, are embracing these technologies. Okay, they're embracing technology and innovation. Paxos is now applying for a permanent SEC license to compete with the DTCC. It is unclear whether the SEC will agree or if Paxos. 2,150 trillions, it looks like, worth of trades last year. What I do, digital markets head at Credit Suisse, I think it's Credit Suisse, observes tactfully. Innovation in blockchain technology is still incremental. Okay, but guess what? There's going to come a point when it's going to become exponential, fast. All right, this adoption, fast. We're in the stages where it's incremental now. the mass adoption is coming, and that's good for Poly. Even so, the deal is a reminder that there is more to blockchain than the cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin that also use the technology. While obvious to crypto insiders, this point needs to be proclaimed loudly given how Bitcoin grabs so much public and political attention. Alright, the Bitcoin, but that's gonna change. More and more the eyes are gonna shift from Bitcoin onto what else can this blockchain technology do, especially when it's making things more efficient and it can save people money. Simple as that. Bet hefty sums in any currency that non-Bitcoin innovations will eventually matter far more. You see? Okay. So you got these Bitcoin maxis, they like to talk about shit coins. A lot of them are like big children. Let's just deal with it like what it is. More efficiency. It benefits business. It will be adopted sooner rather than later, because there's nothing businesses like to save and make money, make more money than they did before. All right, it's always been that new innovations have been embraced, okay, that allow people to make more money. The internet, and we can go on and on and on and on. Okay, in fact, Piper Sandler, an investment bank, guesstimates there are already around 4,000 financial assets and processes operating on blockchain technology. Okay. Second, if the settlement process doesn't embrace blockchain, it may have wide implications. Regulators have granted the DTCC an effective monopoly. A main reason for this is safety, to ensure trades do not fall apart and undermine confidence in markets. That is fair enough, but the status quo looks in. Settlement takes days instead of hours. It also requires large back offices to process deals and enables funds. It injects other risks while settlement is on the way. Precise ownership of the collateral is in limbo. The 2-day delay can also leave financial players subject to shifting margin calls, as happened during the meme stock trading drama this year. In fact, head of Robinhood trading platform, which in itself is an innovation, and Ken Griffin, founder of Citadel Securities, were so outraged that they are pushing to break the DCC's monopoly. So do you see, even that event is going to push for what? More blockchain adoption. Ain't that funny? This is an incredibly inefficient way to operate. Charles Cascarilla, Paxos chief executive, tells me, pointing out that 15 billion to 30 billion of industry capital and twice as much liquidity are tied up in DCC systems. Okay, using block and one of the goals of the tokenization of securities is to using blockchain, by contrast, may reduce the collateral required to protect against risk while the trades settle. A third point is that if this experiment takes off, it may result in cooperation rather than confrontation. Plucky financial David challenging Goliath, but Cascarilla tells me that Paxos has a depository account at the DTCC for regulatory reasons, and that the DTCC is now conducting internal. All right. Now let me bounce to this. This is from the World Economic Forum. Okay, so more and more in the world of business. Okay, I mean, if you look here, I'm pretty sure now the Financial Times, it looks like they have a blockchain section on their website. Okay, the change is happening, man. Now this is the World Economic Forum. Okay, major. What is blockchain and what can it do? This is the NASDAQ. Look, blockchain making transactions safer and faster. NASDAQ. Look at that, man. Change is coming, man. Blockchain is a distributed ledger that allows for more transparent and verifiable record keeping. Although associated mostly with miners widely, there are still many barriers to its widespread adoption, including confidence. And that's all it is. Once the system becomes regular, that allows for more businesses to feel comfortable to deal with the technology. Okay, this is why it was so important for Poly to get in line with regulations. Understand? Okay, this is why XRP is seeking what? Regulatory clarity right now with the SEC. People thought that cryptocurrency and blockchain was going to escape the system. It was never set up to escape the system. Okay, it was set up to be another enhancement to the system. meaning they're going to change. People who own the system is not going to change. Don't be silly. But it is going to disrupt some of the mechanisms of the system. The system is going to be moved technologically, and that's all it is. So they're going to rate and bring it in line. In doing that, there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. Even within the cryptocurrency spaces, all the coins that really don't have a use, okay, within the system, they're going to be left by the wayside. All the coins and the projects that have a use case within the system and that can be regulated, to find a home. They're going to find a place. POLYMATH is one of them. Okay, Tezos is one of them. You know, and they'll find their place, just as any other company did. That says, although associated mostly with money and finance, it can be used widely. There are still many barriers to its widespread adoption, including confidence and regulation. Every time you make an electronic from your mobile, online, or with a card, that transaction passes through multiple systems. Each one of them plays a role in processing that payment and forms part of a sequence of checks and balances that exist between payer and payee. It can be a long, complex, and costly chain of connections, with each taking a small fee for every transaction. Typically, it involves a series of banks or large payment processing businesses who keep track of the money on its journey from A to B. Identities are verified, creditworthiness is established, and sums of money are accurately reconciled. Without such processes, how could trusted payments take place? Enter blockchain. And we're not going to read all of it, but do you see more and more, especially, I mean, you're talking about cross-border payments. That's a major thing that's happening with and Stellar and these things. These things are going to go forward. The CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies, okay, these things are gonna bring crypto to the forefront. What's blocking blockchain? Regulatory uncertainty, 27%. Okay, that's coming. Lack of trust among users, ability to bring network together, and that's why you see now the movement towards cross-chain technology, inability to scale. That's why a lot of things like Cardano, they're working on the scalability problems. Bitcoin will have its place, but that's what people got to realize, is that Bitcoin wasn't designed to a currency that's going to take all the transactions. It's going to have its place, but it's not always going to be the dominant. Trust me. Once all these other techs, intellectual property concern, that's not going to be an NFT, blah, blah, blah. More than money and Bitcoins. This is key. Although cryptocurrencies depend on blockchain and are frequently cited as how blockchain works, they are far from being its only application. It can be used to record and track the ownership of a photographic image or of a piece of music or a patent for a new gadget. It can even be used to track the provenance of food from farm to plate, VeChain, and medical supplies, including vaccines. IBM HBAR describes blockchain as a shared immutable ledger that facilitates the process of recording. More and more, they're letting the public know, they're letting the businesses know that, look, you see this blockchain technology, there's more to it, and you can use this and utilize it to save money and become more efficient. Will legitimize blockchain, says Alchemy CEO. Don't know if you can get this.
Very simple terms, what an NFT actually is and what it is not.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Emily. So NFTs is just one of the things that Alchemy powers. An NFT is basically this idea of owning something in the digital world. For example, in the real world, if you buy the Mona Lisa and you have the original one, your friend can make a copy of it, but there's an art expert who will come and certify that you have the original one and it's worth a lot more. In the digital world, if you have an image and your friend makes a copy of it, no one knows who has the original one. But now that's possible. Thanks to blockchain technology, what you can do now is you can say, hey, I'm the original owner of this. And as a result, it accrues value of being the specific one that is the most valuable.
So we know that Jack Dorsey sold his first tweet for $2.9 million, even though you can still see that tweet on Twitter.
Well, you know, I'm going to start talking about other investments that I'm in. But yeah, the NFT space, that's a good space to get involved in. Personally, telling you to do is do your research, man. And you should seriously consider whether you want to invest in there. But of course, you got to research it for yourself. Wow, look how I froze her face. That's a mad thing. Personally, I'm invested in Omi. You know, I like what they're doing, and hopefully, you know, over the coming days, I might start doing videos on other coins that I'm invested in.
People sold for $69 million. That said, the NFT market has gotten a little quiet over the last few weeks. What do you attribute that to, and what do you think the trajectory actually is?
Absolutely. So one of the things to understand is that NFT is not just a single product or a single company. NFT is a whole new industry that's being built up. And it has this idea of three pieces. You have this collection mechanism that humans innately care about collecting things. They care about scarcity, and then they care about showing off those things, which you can do way more effectively in the digital world than you can if you just have an art piece hanging in your apartment. So the NFTs, whether it's having a lull right now in the next month or so, that's kind of inconsequential, because what we're going to see over the next several years, we're going to have media, entertainment, athletes, musicians, games. All of these people are going to incorporate NFTs into their work, and this will be a cornerstone of.
And you got to understand that the more people start interacting with blockchain technology, it leads to more interactions with blockchain technology arising. Like the mass adoption is upon us. This is a lot different to 2017, where a lot of projects weren't at the point where they could actually have any utility. They were ideas. Now these ideas are being realized. This is the difference between this bull market and the last bull market. The industry as a whole, blockchain, is becoming less of an idea and more of something that's actually happening. Doing.
Of blockchain technology, mass adoption of blockchain technology.
So that said, there are doubters out there. Randy Carver, Carver Financial Services president, recently said, "You're delusional if you think these things will have long-term value. You'll be able to file NFTs with Dutch tulips as items that skyrocketed in popularity and value before crashing." What do you say to the people who just don't get it?
You know, honestly, that's really exciting because it means that there's so much more potential. If everyone saw it, the market would be already mature. But because it's an early market, there's so much excitement. One of my
boom. See, the average person out there does not understand blockchain and what it's gonna do. So that means there's plenty. We ain't seen nothing yet. You know, the market's just what, under $2 trillion. That's nothing. In the grand scheme of the world, $2 trillion is, you're listening to me, maybe you're probably not a billionaire. Billionaires probably got better things to do, but hopefully one day we might get there. But it sounds a lot of money. In the terms of markets, come on, it's not a lot. This market is gonna, man.
Favorite videos of all time is Bill Gates 1982, why computers would be a thing and how this.
Do you understand where we're at? There was a time when people were looking at computers and was it for a game? Now look at computers and the change. Look at how computers got adopted. Do you understand? And now look at blockchain. That's where we're at. They call it the fourth industrial revolution, and blockchain is a part of that.
Provide a better learning experience than a book. And I think when you look at any new industry, blockchain, internet, computers, NFTs, you see a similar trend where there will always be people who are skeptical, but the true technologists are the ones who are able to see the potential applications.
Do you understand? True technologists, that means those of us who are, there are a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space, they're not looking at technology, they're looking for quick pumps, and that's okay. That's gonna exist. But there's a lot of people within the space that are investing in this space that when they're looking at what they're actually looking at what they're investing in, not just based upon hype and how many people are fans or following them on Twitter. They're looking at the team, they're looking at the technology, they're looking at the concept and the ideas, also based upon sound fundamentals. Now, every once in a while, you might just fling some money into a coin that's just got a bag of hype, you know. But I think to be successful in this industry on a long term, this isn't financial advice, but you might want to look into how you can appraise projects on a fundamental level based upon the core concepts and the ideas. and the use case. And it might be that that method is going to be better for you in the long. The projects that are gonna really grow and increase in over the years to come, that are going to survive, those are the ones that have the good technology, man. Simple as that. Not the hype coins that got a lot of hype behind it, but they're not actually doing anything and they're good for nothing, and they're gonna die. They're gonna die quick. Do you want to be invested in a technology or in a project that's gonna be forefront or as part of this new revolution for the next 20, 50 years, however long this cycle of technology lasts? Do you want to be invested in the next Microsoft, the next Facebook? This is what the question we're asking you. You know, the next Samsung. Do you understand where we're coming from? Again, this ain't financial advice, but this is just things for you to think about.
Even before anybody else does. And I think we have a very...
We do.
So what kind of NFTs are going to be worth?
And not to mention that this has accelerated the need for this innovation. Okay.
Be worthless.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a good analogy here is looking at Beanie Babies. So Beanie Babies were definitely something that was very exciting. In my childhood, my sister saved all the tags on her Beanie Babies. They're not that popular now, but this idea of collecting as a human inbuilt nature is something that's very prevalent even today, right? So when you look at...
I just want to get to him talking about Coinbase going public.
And Coinbase IPOing for probably over $100 billion, minimize the space to everyone's friends and family who of the people who are thinking about getting into blockchain.
Do you understand? So even Coinbase going public, it legitimizes blockchain. It moves a lot of people away from, this Bitcoin and dark web is just funny money. And now people will start looking like, so what's actually happening in this space? Let me take a closer look. And that's going to lead to more investors, more investment, more adoption. Okay.
And building this new industry. And that's super exciting. Will accelerate the whole space incredibly.
Beautiful, beautiful. So like I said, a rising tide raises all ships. It's all good. Every time blockchain is adopted, doesn't matter about which project, it's good for all the projects, especially legitimizes the technology and moves things forward. Okay, you're looking at this market cap right now in pounds, 1.4 trillion pounds. This is nothing. This is just the beginning. Okay, this is why when I look at POLYMATH and what they're doing, if they can execute and become a part of which has already begun in the world, and I'm looking at 904 Satoshis as the current value, that's nothing. This is just the beginning. Let's go to the moon, I say. Okay, alright, so that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to talk about. Like I said, hopefully I've got a few more projects that I'm invested in. I might start talking about them on this channel. What we're trying to do is come up with strategies and invest our money while not only maximize our profits, because me personally, I'm not rich, far from it, and I don't come from a rich background. So my aim is to basically increase my wealth, but not only that, I'm gonna find a way through the space to increase my capital and then use that capital and find ways within the space to earn passive income, whether it's through different and I think that's a goal everyone should be looking at. I'm not saying everyone should be doing the advice. I'm saying everyone should be looking at, because we're living in a world where a lot of our jobs are at stake at the moment. There's a lot of changes happening in the world. Wouldn't it be good if you had a passive income that wasn't reliant on you going to work or reliant on where you are in the world? There's a lockdown, you can't get to work, but if you've got your money working for you in the blockchain, and you're getting paid out, daily or every month, if you can make it to a point where you replace having to go to work, then why not? And these things is more than possible in this space if you do your research, invest wisely, and have a bit of luck as well. Okay, have a plan long term, and like I said, I would seriously consider part of your end goal be to devise earn passive income in this space or any other space you can find it. Income that is not relying on you going to work or having a job. What are we at, 975, 976? So we already, like I said, we're not worried about that. So with that, I'm gonna say have a great day or a great evening wherever you are.